Good evening to all of you, and very happy to be amongst all of you. I've personally never been in such a big gathering. I've never spoken for such a big gathering. Okay? And I'm delighted to be among so many friends. I can see so many people that I've met over the years, the last 2 years in this audience, and it's very gratifying to have all of you here. As you know, I run a business called Cafe Mutual, and the purpose of the business is to enhance the news knowledge. So all that is talking about today is something which I passionately do. I've just walked out to take loo breaks, believe you me. I've been here sitting, listening to all the speakers talk about various things, and I've taken something from all of them today. I will try and incorporate some of it in my own presentation so that there is a logical link. So let me start. The topic, as Kanak said, is how do we grow our business through referrals. It's a fact that referrals is the most preferred activity for IFS to grow the business. Right or wrong? Right. Okay. What are we going to look at in this presentation today? What are the different approaches of seeking referrals? How do we get clients ready to give us referrals? And what could be a better approach? Okay. We carried out some research 2 years back. 622 IFAs we spoke to in Mumbai and Delhi. And we asked them, what do you think is the most effective way to grow business? All of them said, referrals. We also found out in our research, everyone likes to get referrals, but very few people ask for it. So we know that referrals is a very effective way to grow the business, but very few of us ask. And those of us who ask have a trial and error method. We don't have a proper method to approach it. Ashish talked about having a method. When he was giving us those definitions of practice, you remember that? He gave us those examples. We don't adopt a proper method. So today, in the rest of the session, my effort will be to take you through a methodology. Let's face it, what is the current practice? What is the current practice? Be honest. I'll tell you what's the most common practice today. I want to grow my business, and I'll be grateful if you can give me a few references. Right or wrong? Right? Okay. Some of us have a better pitch. We say, over the last couple of years, I've been working with you. I've worked very hard to identify the right kind of investment solutions for you. I want to grow my business, and I will appreciate if you can refer me to your friends and relatives. It's a more nuanced approach, but essentially says the same thing, which is asking for help, which is I need to grow my business, right? What are we conveying to the client? I need to grow my business. Now, does it work for anyone? Very rarely. What are the rare exceptions in which it works? According to me, this approach works when you have a high likability factor. There are many people, very charming, and people like to help them. But most of us, unfortunately, fall in the average category. Some of us are a little higher than average, most of us are at average, and the other proportion is in the little less than average. Very rarely are we so likable or charming that we will find people just eager to help us out. The other category, which has a good chance of getting help by asking for it, is the people who are starting out. So if someone's young, just starting a career at the age of 21, they can say, I was doing BCom over the last 3 years, and over the last 3 years I've discovered that I'm fascinated with the study of investments. I spent all of my time studying investments, and in the process I've helped my family, my relatives make a lot of money. I've decided to now make this my vocation and help you. And in that context, I'd appreciate if I can start a relationship with you or your friends. That's work. But most of us here in this audience are not beginners. So this approach by and large is ruled out for us. Why don't I recommend this particular approach? One, it is not sustainable. We can't go to our clients again and again asking for references. And second and more fundamental problem is it sends out a signal of weakness to our clients. Who are the people who need help? Who are the people who need help? Who are not doing well. So what are you conveying to your own clients?
I'm not doing well.
That you are dependent on them. They are doing an act of charity by doing business with you. Do you want to be in that situation?
No.
Okay. So let me come to what I call the ultimate truth about referrals. And let me digress here a little. In most of the Indian, bigger cities at least, there's an event called marathon, right? They hold one in Mumbai, they hold one in Kolkata, they hold one in Delhi, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, most of the cities. Now if you were to be living in one of those cities, on the day of the marathon, can you wake up and tell your spouse that, I feel like running the marathon? Can you do it? No, why can't you do it?
Because I never practiced kilometers, no practice.
Sorry? For 42 kilometers you need practice. So, your determination, your need to run the marathon at that moment of time really doesn't matter. Your motivation at that point of time cannot carry you because you need to run 42 kilometers. For that, you need to have been practicing for a few weeks, if not for a few months. You need to test your endurance, you need to practice, you need to have the right diet, you need to get into shape, and then only can you run a marathon. Similarly, when we ask for referrals, that is the acid test of our relationship with them. So what's the ultimate truth about referrals? What matters is not just how do you ask for referrals, what matters is what you've done to deserve the referrals. Okay? So let's see, what is it that we can do to get our clients ready? In the first presentation today, Naveen spoke about a few things and I really liked many of his points a lot. He talked about doing certain things and I'll repeat them. Get branded. Most IFAs, if I were to ask them, what is it that you do? They would say that I am a financial advisor. What is it that you do better than others? The standard answer, believe me, is I give good service. In this poll, if I were to have conducted this poll before this presentation, I would have got at least 50% responses saying that my speciality, what distinguishes me from my fellow IFA sitting next to me is the fact that I give good service. So if 50% of the audience is giving the same answer, obviously it's not an advantage. In this world, we take service. Second problem I have with service, what does service mean? It's different things to different people. Third problem I have with service is the fact that service today is a given. I go to a restaurant, I expect good service. I've come to Swastika Premium, I expect good service. I go to a store, I expect good service. Does anyone here expect to be mistreated when he goes to any place? Certainly not. If you buy a TV, you expect the TV to be serviced immediately if there is a problem with it, right or wrong? You are not ready to wait for weeks. So service today is a given. So what my point I'm trying to make is get branded. When I say get branded, how are you different from others needs to be stated by you. Some of that was, some of the issues were addressed by my friend Sumit in his presentation. He urged you to take a different look at the entire business. Okay? So his is one approach. There are other things that you could do, but do something which is different from what your peers are doing. There is certainly something which you do which your other fellow IFAs cannot do, and that becomes your brand. Whether it is in the method of approaching clients, what set of clients you offer, what kind of services you offer, what kind of skills you have, depending on that, you need to get yourself branded. Okay. The second point I want to make is develop a contact program. Most IFAs, I know for a fact, have got clients when the markets were good. So if most of your clients came in 2007, 2008, do you have a contact program which has enabled you to remain in touch with these clients? I know it's a fact that most of us unfortunately do not have a regular contact program. Okay? We have not been in touch with our clients enough. The third point I want to make is you need to develop your client databases. Without an adequate understanding of your clients, you are not going to be holding any conversation with you. Ashish was talking about how do you need to talk about something which is intelligent. Sumit talked about how you could possibly be talking about the need to make a will. If you do not understand his personal circumstances, you are not going to be able to hold any conversation whatsoever. You can only talk about the weather and whether Anna Hazare should be in politics or not. You cannot have a conversation which goes beyond these 2 points. Okay? So you need to be investing in making a client database. When I say client database, what I'm saying is you need to understand your existing clients a lot better. You need to understand about their professional careers, you need to understand their motivations, their past experiences, their personal likes, dislikes, their attitude towards money, their attitude towards investing. I'm talking about all those things. Very, very fundamental rule which applies to 2 things. 3 things in life, actually. Dating. You never ask a girl a date. You never ask a girl for a date till you know she's ready. Right or wrong? Okay? You never ask for a sale till the client is ready. Right or wrong? Is it possible for anyone, for you to be sold anything unless and until you're convinced about the need to buy the product? So don't ask for a referral till your clients are ready. How do we get them ready? Okay, sorry. Now I call this approach the approach of getting referrals as a matter of your earned right. मेरा हक है.